Hello and welcome to my channel where we are dazed but we're not confused. Today we're going to be doing a New Horizons reading, and the purpose of this is to give us some insight about what it is that we might be walking into in the future. We're going to take a look at what we're leaving behind, how we feel right now, what we're walking into, and our hopes and fears. So we're going to start with you, Scorpio. So let's take a look at where you are currently. All right, Scorpio, I see that you're currently taking some time to think about some of the past, maybe confrontations that you've been in with other individuals. There may have been a sense of resentment about it, but I see that you're in a place where you're kind of letting that go and you're moving forward. I feel like you're in this state of feeling like the storm is over and you're just taking your first step to move forward. Like you're leaving this behind. It could have been, this could be relationship or work based, but you're saying goodbye to the situation on peaceful terms and you're moving forward. You're taking your first step on a path moving forward. You may have been concerned in leaving this situation that you may not have had enough money or the funding to support what it is that you need to do. But I'm seeing that you are going to be supported and that you're going to make new connections with others who will be able to support that. And this could be financially, this could be emotionally, it could be psychologically as well. All right. So you're just really in this place of leaving behind some, maybe some drama or chaos that you may have been experiencing. And you're just kind of thinking back on, maybe how that started, how you got into it, and how as you move forward, you can make different choices so that you can have a different experience. All right. So let's take a look at what it is that you are actually leaving behind. All right, Scorpio. So what I'm picking up that you're leaving behind is the belief that you have to accept doing the work, coming up with, these big, bold visions and ideas, and having to accept doing all of the work, but then having an ending come to that. Like putting a lot of effort into providing lots of ideas, coming up with a vision for something, doing all the work, really digging deep into your mind and your thoughts and creating, trying to manifest something, to move forward, to create something, to make something happen, and then having it come to an end, and then having to be okay with that, maybe being treated as if you should just be okay with that. This could be in a work situation where you are coming up with lots of valuable ideas, you are coming up with visions that people are using, and you're doing all the work, and then maybe these ideas are being stolen from you. And then, people just expect you to move forward and just accept it. Maybe they're like, well, that's just the way it is. And you're tired of that. I think that with our cards that we read about where you are now, that you're really looking at how you got into some of these situations. They could have been like contracts. It could have been, like I said, I'm picking up like a workplace situation where, you were the golden mine. Like you had all the ideas and you were providing all this and you weren't getting proper credit. Maybe you weren't being paid properly, or, and you felt like you had to then confront, or you wanted to confront, but you felt like you couldn't because you were just expected to accept that that's just the way it is. So I feel like this is what you're trying to leave behind, are these types of situations and these types of arrangements. I'm seeing that, with the other cards that we pulled, that you're just in a place of saying goodbye to those types of unfair exchanges and trying to move forward on the faith that you'll be able to move into something that's more mutually beneficial, especially with you providing a lot of the vision for these things. It could be projects or otherwise. All right. So let's take a look at what some of your fears are as you move forward. All right, with the King of Pentacles in reverse and some of these other cards, it looks like what you're afraid of is you're afraid to look at the reality of certain situations, okay, moving forward. I feel like even though you're in a place of, letting go of certain situations, I think you're afraid to look at the energy of what might amount to bullies, to be quite honest, very aggressive, domineering people who demand your time, demand your work, demand your vision, and kind of overpower you. And I think your fear is that you're not going to be able, like, you don't have the mastery and personal ability to stand up to these types of energy. You might be afraid to ask for your needs to be met, because it's like a risk to come forward and ask for that, because you may have been in situations where when you've asked for your needs to be met, they weren't given to you, and you weren't considered. And so you feel like you have to put a lot of effort and energy and give the best of yourself to situations or to people who are just takers. And you might be afraid that you're actually attracting this in, because this might be a recurring cycle for you, not just in a workplace, but it could be in your personal relationships as well. And so I think there's like a fear of having to kind of face this, although you've taken steps to leave these situations behind. And I feel like you are leaving them every time it comes up. I think the fear is that you don't have what it takes to stand up to this energy. And moving forward, that might be something to look at, addressing why you might feel as if you're the best of you, or not the best of you. It's not the only thing about you, but these ideas that you have, these brain children that you're creating, are being kind of taken, or that you're giving them away to situations and partnerships that are not mutually beneficial for you. And I feel like you know what you want and you know what you need, but there's a fear to ask for it. All right. And you might even be afraid to even look deeper at what it is that you really want, because you know that it takes some courage to ask for it that you may not feel like you have. So let's see what your hopes are moving forward. All right. So this is nice. I see that you are hoping that you're going to be able to raise your standards, express what it is that you need, practice actually telling people what you want and putting yourself in situations to manifest what it is you want back, and having people listen to you. I'm seeing that you want to focus on your own light, focus on the positive, but also develop that part of you that obviously is creating wonderful things, because you're dealing with people who are kind of taking the credit and not properly crediting you. But you want to focus on just developing that even more and being in safe spaces so that you can just focus and worry on that. Not worry about, well, if I do this, am I going to be kicked out the project? I do all the work and then at the last minute, I'm taken out of it and I have to start over. I see your hope is that you can simplify your life so that you're not in situations with people in the Seven of Swords energy. This is in the reverse, so this is actually good. You're hoping to get out of this, which is, to me, this is the thief card, the stealing energy. So this is stealing your ideas, stealing your work. And by doing that, you could just focus on creating and being a genius and being this creative virtuoso that you are. And it'll make your life so much more simple, because you don't have to deal with all the trauma and the negativity of dealing, with all this. It could even be workplace politics, to be also to point that out as well. That's coming up as well. That could be what you're kind of struggling with here. All right. So let's take a look at what is actually coming on the horizon for you. All right. These are beautiful cards. So what I have here is, kind of a confirmation of what we were seeing before. It looks like what you're doing is you are going to be focusing on your divine inspiration and focusing on positivity by really coming to grips with where you've been, the situations you've been in, where you've been kind of betrayed or, kind of backstabbed or fallen victim to workplace politics or whatever the case. And I'm seeing here that you're just going to be focusing on your divine inspiration. All right, with these 7 heavenly virtues, you're just going to look at the good. You're going to operate from a place of positivity. And when you do this, this allows you to become more inspired and more creative. When you're stressed out and you're in a state of, competition or distress, emotional or otherwise, it starts to shut that down. And so, with the King of Swords in reverse and release control, I'm seeing that in the future, you are going to consciously choose to walk away from or not go into partnership with people who are exhibiting this type of energy. Very controlling, very cold-hearted, kind of cutthroat King of Swords in reverse energy. These are the types that would not feel bad about cutting you out of something that you've put a lot of hard work into, or that you've kind of like created and put all of the creative energy into. You're going to be able to recognize this. And when you see it, have the courage to speak up to it by just not even engaging, and not even giving away these, the best of you, these wonderful ideas, this work that you do. And in doing that, it's going to allow you to free up that fear that you're going to do all this effort, you're going to be inspired and give all this inspiration away to workplaces, structures, projects, organizations that don't value you as a creator and are not going to treat you fairly. So this is a beautiful thing here. All right, I see that with the tapestry card, you're going to be taking the lessons that you've learned from the past and what you know now in the present, and taking that into your future and finding safe spaces so that you can just allow your creative energies to flow, and you can do this from a place of your highest joy, which is all that you really ever wanted in the first place, is what I'm seeing here. All right. All right, Scorpio, that's what I have for you. I hope that was helpful for you. Thank you for joining me on this channel where we may be days, but we are not confused. I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.